What's going on, guys? It is Christopher here, back in the building with the Week 19 Premier League predictions, Part 2. And you're probably wondering, why is there a second part or a sequel to the Week 19 Premier League predictions? Well, fact of the matter is that some teams need to catch up with the number of games that they're playing amidst a very tight schedule at the very moment in time for both the Premier League and the FA Cup, which does happen to be this weekend. However, following some of the postponements of games in recent weeks because of coronavirus testing and the number of positives that have come out, as a result, the Premier League have taken this opportunity to try and catch up on some of the games that need to be played. And there are 6 games that need to be done, which you guys can see the fixtures up on the screen right now. However, I will not put a timer on like I do with my usual 2-minute predictions like I do in most weeks. However, game number 1 of the week, West Ham versus West Brom. West Ham, who came out 1-0 winners against a very watertight Burnley side, although Burnley are struggling in the league right now. The fact of the matter is that Burnley did give it a good run for their money against West Ham, only to lose 1-0 because of Mikel Antonio goal. But don't question what celebration he was doing, because I was looking at it and I thought it was absolutely hideous, because it was simply him lying on the floor. And for good measure, I'll put it up on the screen right now, because that was his celebration. Although I do think his celebration against Tottenham earlier, I think it was last season, when he was like mimicking riding on a horse or humping, I don't know, but it's a weird celebration, full stop. But West Brom came out 3-2 winners against their Black Country rivals Wolves and won 3-2, despite the fact that they did have a penalty which was somewhat contentious. The fact is they got the job done, but Big Sam returns to his former employers, this time at the London Stadium. But for me, I think it will end in a nicely poised 1-1 draw. The second game of which, tonight, happens to be my game of Part 2 for Week 19, which is Leicester versus Chelsea. But Chelsea, they're lacking a bit of firepower up front by the looks of it. Meanwhile, Leicester, they've been just chugging along, doing what they've needed to do in the last few games or so, and they're pretty much comfortable in the top 4. But Chelsea, if they want to ramp up their top 4 challenge, they are going to have to step it up as quickly as they can. However, I think the game will also end in a draw, and my second 1-1 draw of the Week 19 Part 2 predictions. Third game up, Manchester City versus Aston Villa. By the way, Aston Villa are playing twice, but City, are they back to their old brilliant ways, scoring goals at will, winning 4-0, 5-0, well, they didn't win 5-0, but they won 4-0 against Crystal Palace, who themselves are struggling in the league as it stands. However, Manchester City without Sergio Aguero at hand. The fact is, Jesus managed to get on the score sheet, but will he be the man that takes them to a Premier League title at the end of the season? That I don't know. Will Liverpool struggle without decent firepower up front? But will Man City need Aguero back? That's another question altogether. But I think Man City should be able to beat Aston Villa. But don't forget, Villa will prove to be a very stubborn challenge. But City to win 3-0 in my opinion. Fulham versus Man United. Well, Fulham, we all know they're languishing amongst the relegation places. But United came out 0-0 after their draw against Liverpool. On the other hand, I look at it as a Man United fan and think that's a point gain, but could that come back and haunt us at the end of the season? That I don't know. I hope it doesn't, but hopefully a United win, and hopefully we'll win 2-0 at Craven Cottage. Next up, speaking of Liverpool, they're up against Burnley, and as I mentioned, Liverpool, they're struggling up front with firepower because Mane, Firmino and Salah have all seemed to have gone cold, all 3 of them at the wrong time. But hopefully someone will get on the score sheet for Liverpool, but hopefully Salah will, for the sake of my fantasy football prediction and my fantasy football team. But I think Liverpool will win 1-0. And last but not least, Aston Villa will play twice in the Week 19 Premier League predictions part 2, or it should be 3 times if you're encountering for the fact that it is for the entirety of Week 19. But I think Aston Villa versus Newcastle, Aston Villa will keep another clean sheet against a very weak Newcastle United side at the minute, and Aston Villa to win 2-0. And there we have it. That is my Week 19 Premier League Part 2 predictions. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I know it's a very quick and somewhat rushed video. But anyways, if you want to check out my Week 19 predictions for Part 1, well, unofficially Part 1, then the video is right here. Don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe to my channel right here. But another thing before I go is, don't forget from time to time, because we are in national lockdown effectively, please, as always guys, check in on your mates every so often. And until next time guys, peace out.